The 2022 NBA playoffs ended last year with the Golden State Warriors taking home the trophy and Stephen Curry solidifying his legacy as one of, if not the best, point guard of all time. This year, as the Warriors have slowly crawled into the playoffs in the Western Conference, the rest of the league has seen an overwhelming amount of parity. And we fans love it and hate it at the same time. We love it in that we get to see the best of the best battle each other, but we hate it because we don't know who's going to win and we don't know if our team will take home the trophy. Now, in this video, I will be going over the Eastern Conference playoffs first and the Western Conference, and we will see just how that parity adds drama and fire to each and every matchup. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Eastern Conference playoffs. And it feels right to start with the play-in games. I'm recording this Easter evening, so happy Easter to all of you. But Sunday afternoon certainly brought a lot of interesting games in the Western Conference and some of the most boring matchups so far this season in the Eastern Conference, where things were already set and nobody had anything to play for except for potentially pride. So we start with the 7-8 matchup in the play-in tournament in the East, the Heat versus the Hawks. Real quickly, I think that any true fans can tell you that the Miami Heat have had somewhat of a chokehold over the Hawks just mentally, and I think that's because the Hawks are a younger team. The Heat they have young guys, but they're led by Jimmy Butler and Bam and even Kevin Love at this point. So a Trae Young-led Hawks, while Trae Young has had his fair share of playoff experience by going to the Eastern Conference Finals even, I still think that this one-game scenario leads to a Heat win, meaning they snatch that 7 seed, and the Hawks will have to go play the winner of the 9-10 game, which is Raptors versus Bulls. And, let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a League Pass owner. I watch many games from all these teams. I've probably watched the most of the Hawks and then the most of the Raptors and the least of the Bulls. So I'm a little bit unfamiliar with how the Bulls play, but I do watch Kenny Beecham, and I am aware that the Bulls are very hot and cold. You never know what you're going to get, whereas with the Hawks, their record completely mirrors that, completely portrays that they are hot and cold. They were hovering around 500 the entire second half of the season in a crazy way, never going 2 games above 500, never going 2 games below 500. The Raptors, Bulls. Let's talk about that matchup first. I actually think the Raptors will pull this out. I understand that the Raptors have some really bad locker room chemistry right now, and that could totally play into this. But I know that Siakam has experience in leading this team, regardless of if Kawhi Leonard was the true leader of that championship team back in 2019. I know that Siakam at least knows how to win a few playoff series, let alone a play-in game. Whereas, the Bulls, yeah, they have DeRozan, they have Levine, they have a lot of guys, but they have just not pulled it together this season. I don't see them putting up a good fight in that play-in game. If it was a series between those two, I would actually have it going the other way because of the locker room chemistry right now in Toronto. But because it's just one game, I think it's going to be the Raptors. So that brings us to the Hawks and Raptors playing it out. And I kind of alluded to this a few seconds ago, but the Hawks are up and down. Um, because I have them losing against the Heat, I don't have them losing 2 games in a row. I believe that just like the rest of this season, they're going to lose and then win. And they're going to solidify themselves in that 8th spot. So basically nothing changes through the Eastern Conference play-in tournament. That's how I have it going. But the Eastern Conference is kind of boring in that sense. Yeah, you have some really heavy teams up top. But then once you even get past the 5 seed, it's just like, yeah, we know these teams aren't going to make a push for much after the second round. So Eastern Conference is still fun to watch, but West is definitely going to win out this year in terms of excitement. So again, we have the 7 seed Heat and the 8 seed Hawks. Now, let's move over to the Western Conference play-in tournament before I get into the actual matchups that are set so far. What a day it was. Easter afternoon, Sunday afternoon for the Western Conference play-in teams. The Thunder had already played all their games. They knew they were going to be the 10th seed. But you had the Lakers, Timberwolves, and Pelicans all playing. Lakers were playing the Jazz, and the T-Wolves were playing the Pelicans. So some pretty big ramifications there in that T-Wolves versus Pelicans game. If the T-Wolves had lost, the Pelicans would have been playing the Lakers. But T-Wolves win, and they move up to the 8th seed, meaning they will play the Lakers in LA on Tuesday for the 7th seed. If the T-Wolves lose, they then go to play sudden death against either the Pelicans or the Thunder. So let's talk about, first of all, the Timberwolves. Because I think that right now, they've got no shot. No shot. What happened Sunday afternoon, if you're not aware, Rudy Gobert, number one, was traded this offseason from the Jazz to the Timberwolves for 5 first-round draft picks. This is a man that has not seen what it's like to shoot a three-pointer, who has won Defensive Player of the Year awards, stealing them from a player named Draymond Green, and has yet to have pretty much any success in the playoffs. And yet the Timberwolves trade 5 first-round draft picks for him. Sunday afternoon, he once again gets into a hissy fit and punches his teammate on the court, of course, in a huddle, but on the court. Unlike a player like Draymond Green, who, don't get me wrong, he completely sucker punched Jordan Poole through that video that we saw this offseason. But Rudy Gobert did it on the court in front of fans, and he was sent home by the team for throwing a fit. I saw a comment on Instagram that said, they sent that boy back to France. Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir, Rudy Gobert? What are you doing? The last game of the season, and you choose to do this. I understand that stakes are high. Last game of the season, emotions are high. You don't know if you'll be playing any further than, Thursday afternoon this week or Thursday night. But you completely it's like Survivor, okay? When a survivor on the show goes to a different tribe early in the season, I guess, and starts showing everybody or telling everybody what's wrong with their tribe, you totally give them the upper hand in showing your weaknesses. Rudy Gobert just showed the Timberwolves' weakness. Not only Gobert messing up the Timberwolves season, but Jaden McDaniels got upset and just before halftime went into the hallway and punched a wall and fractured his right hand. And guess what? He's out for the season. No doubt they don't get past the first round alone, okay? so he's not playing the first round. But I'll tell you where I think they're going. So Lakers versus Timberwolves. I have Lakers winning simply because of the Timberwolves just completely imploding. So that sends the Timberwolves to face the other two. So let's get to those two. Pelicans versus Thunder. Unfortunately, I think the Thunder are going to win this game, which is crazy to say, but the Pelicans, they rely way too heavily on Brandon Ingram. And from what I've seen, the Thunder have way too much energy at the wing spot defensively with those rookies and with the young players that they can stop Ingram, and that completely takes the Pelicans out of the game. So I have Thunder moving forward to face the Timberwolves, and I don't have to say it again. The Timberwolves have lost. They have lost all hope. Yeah, they have Anthony Edwards. Yeah, they have Karl Anthony Towns. But a team sees their weaknesses now, and they can attack them. So I have the Thunder taking the 8th spot, surprisingly. So let's move on to the Eastern Conference matchups. First and foremost, we have the Bucks facing the Hawks. Milwaukee's too strong. I don't think we have to stay on this one for too long. Milwaukee has got Giannis, number one. After him, you've got Drew Holiday, Brook Lopez, Chris Middleton even. I can't believe I didn't even name him second. But ultimately, the Hawks aren't getting past them in a 7-game series. I have the Bucks winning in 5. It could quite possibly be a sweep, though. I'm not a fan of Trae Young. I think that his teammates get a bad rap because they play with Trae, but that team is nowhere close to being suited to beat this Bucks team in a 7-game series. So either a sweep or a 5-game just obliteration of the Hawks. I have the Bucks moving on. Then we have the Celtics versus the Heat, I believe. Again, these Heat versus Hawks, I mean, they're just speculation, but I'm pretty sure I got that right. Celtics versus Heat, a rematch of the Eastern Conference Finals from last year, but this is a completely different Heat team. Pretty much the same Celtics team, but even stronger on the court. I wouldn't say they're stronger mentally, but stronger on the court. I had the Celtics beating them in 6. Now, here's why. I think the Celtics have a little bit too much, what's the word? Not pride, but confidence. They have too much confidence. And Jimmy Butler is a different beast in the playoffs. I know Eastern Conference fans think that he's Michael Jordan in the playoffs. This is not true. He's yet to win. And I personally don't like his play style. I don't think it's well suited to win much. But the Heat just don't have anybody past their starting 5. Yeah, they have Lowry on the bench, but he's washed. Celtics take this one in 6, but it's an easy 6. Next, we have 76ers versus the Brooklyn Nets. Now, what's funny is this would have been Embiid versus Simmons, but Ben Simmons has been shut down for the year. This is a completely different Brooklyn Nets team. You got Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Spencer Dinwiddie, Nick Claxton, and many more. I like what they're doing. I really do. I think so many people have so much confidence in the 76ers. I see this going 7. The Nets, while they don't have much experience together, Mikal Bridges has been to the finals. Spencer Dinwiddie has been to the Western Conference Finals. Cam Johnson to the finals as well. Nick Claxton has played for the Nets when they had KD and all those guys. I just think that this Nets team can make a lot more push than people think. Like Stephen A has them being a pushover. But I think they make some real noise, push it to 7, and then it's a blowout in Game 7 in Philly. Embiid is... I'd like to see him get MVP just so that we can stop having this conversation of Jokic versus Embiid. I also think that next year, Jokic will be in MVP conversations again. Just his play style is MVP race suited. So I just wish that Embiid gets it this year so that we don't have to think about it again. That's all. Anyways, 76ers take this in 7. Now, this is the matchup right here. 4 versus 5. Cavs versus Knicks. Donovan Mitchell versus the team that thought they were going to get Donovan Mitchell. Ended up getting Jalen Brunson. They weren't as happy with Jalen Brunson, but they got him nonetheless. And now look at where you are. The 5 seed. You better be impressed. But this is my first upset. Personally, I'm okay with Donovan Mitchell's playing style, but he cannot play hero ball on this team. I'm taking Knicks in 7. Here's why. In their 4 matchups this year, the Knicks have almost shot 50% from 3 twice, and they've beaten the Cavs without Julius Randle once. The way I see it, the main way the Cavs can pull this out is if Darius Garland is used in pick and roll to force Randle to play some defense and exhaust his energy. I'm not a fan of Julius Randle either. His playing style is just weird to me. I don't think it's suited for the playoffs. But I think Jalen Brunson has that experience to push his team over the edge. And Donovan Mitchell does too, don't get me wrong. But the Knicks have a weird, tenacious defense to where they can take Donovan Mitchell out of it. Or at least they'll let him score, but they won't let him be the deciding factor. I don't want to take too long on this video, so let's move on to the Western Conference, where I think it's more exciting. So I said the 7 seed is the Lakers and the 8 seed is the Thunder. I may or may not get that one wrong, but I'm pretty certain on the Lakers. So number 1, Nuggets versus number 8, Thunder. I do have the Nuggets winning that one in 5, simply because they're a more experienced team. I think that Jokic will be like, okay, this is easy in the first round. He's good against teams that sometimes have lapses on defense, and rookies have lapses on defense. It's as simple as that. Sometimes they get too overwhelmed with noise in the playoffs, and while Denver isn't the noisiest, it's a weird atmosphere with the elevation and just the push from the fans to, hey, Nuggets, let's finally get over this hump of being a first-round exit or being disappointing in the playoffs. So Nuggets take that one. They move on. Grizzlies versus Lakers. So many talking heads will say, give me the Lakers. Give me the Lakers. I actually think Memphis is going to pull this out because they're going under the radar at this point with players like Steven Adams and Brandon Clark getting injured. They're going under the radar, and teams or the media members, they're not looking at them as a threat. Last year, they were looked at as a threat. They were looked at as, this is my sleeper team to win it all. I had them. You can listen to my old podcast episodes. I had them going to the Western Conference Finals. Or did I have them in the finals? I might have. Because they were that good, they were that exciting. But this year, they're still good. It's just that we're too accustomed to it. They're only 2 games behind the Nuggets in the standings. Obviously, the standings aren't going to change, but they only lost 2 more games than the Nuggets did. I have Grizzlies winning in 7. The Lakers' size is what's going to be the problem for the Grizzlies. I don't think nobody's stopping Ja Morant and his energy. Desmond Bane can score on you guys, but I mean LeBron and Anthony Davis against Chanchar? I mean, who's in the middle? Uh, what's that guy's name? Aldama? Okay? Like, that is the issue. So, Xavier Tillman, I guess. Jaren Jackson Jr. Yeah. I know that they have really been ramping it up, but I don't know. Lakers might pull it out, but I have Grizzlies winning in 7. Lakers fans are all over the place right now. Maybe it's just like my algorithms and everything, but I mean, they are on one. They have climbed their way back into the playoffs, which is very impressive and scary as a Warriors fan, but I think the road ends there. I'm sorry, Lakers fans. I know you want to hear different. Here's what I will say before you click off this video. I mean, the Lakers have the tools to win it. So here's what it is. Grizzlies, if they win it in 7. If the Lakers win it, they win it in like 4 or 5. They are dominating. If it goes to 7, the Grizzlies are winning, which is kind of weird to say because usually LeBron pulls it out in the end, but if LeBron and AD have it, why wouldn't they sweep or why wouldn't they win it in 5? You know what I mean? So, Lakers fans, you can absolutely dominate. But I just personally think the Grizzlies are a little bit underrated, meaning they're going to win it because you guys are a little unassuming. All right, 3v6 matchup brings my Golden State Warriors onto the bus on the highway or freeway. We call them freeways. All the way up to good old Sacktown, Sacramento. Warriors versus Kings. Here's what I have to say. In our matchups this year, the Kings have outplayed us. No doubt. Fox is too quick. Our guys this year, Warriors I'm talking about, they play way too high up. And so either the Kings players, do a high pick and roll and they just blow by us, or we're too aggressive and Fox just goes to the line. Sabonis versus Looney. That's an interesting matchup because I think it'll be mostly Sabonis versus Draymond. But Looney is our rebounder. Who could out-rebound? But the main headline here for this one is playoff experience. You have a team that hasn't made it since 2006 versus a team that won it all last year. Regardless of that, they have won 4 titles since 2015. So you have completely different sides of the coin here. Who wins it all? I'm a little biased. I think the Warriors will win it, but I think it's going 7. I do. And that's simply because the Warriors suck butt on the road. Like, I know Sunday afternoon on Easter, we pulled out a massive blowout against the Portland Trailblazers, but that game doesn't mean anything. We were playing against literal G Leaguers, and we had everybody in except for Andrew Wiggins. So yeah, we needed to win like that. But we're going to lose the first 2 in Sacramento because Sacramento just is going to have that fire. We're going to go back to San Francisco. We're going to win 2. 2-2. Going to go back to Sacktown. 3-2 in their favor. Going to go back to San Francisco. 3-3. And then when push comes to shove, I think that Steve Kerr will make the right adjustments. As much as people want to hate on Steve Kerr, okay, he is a major factor in these championships. I think he'll make certain adjustments or something, and we're going to see the Warriors pull it out in Game 7 with some interesting tactic that ends up working. Warriors advance. I'm calling it. Now, 4 versus 5, people think this is going to be a blowout as well. But interesting storyline, Kevin Durant going against Russell Westbrook in the playoffs. Has this happened before? No. Isn't that crazy? It hasn't happened before. I don't think they're as upset at each other anymore. Like, you think Russell Westbrook cares that Kevin Durant is on the Suns? No. Russell Westbrook is worried about his own legacy. Okay? The Suns have too much talent, unfortunately. I mean, it's not going to be a blowout. I think Kawhi Leonard can push at least one game and then, maybe compete for a second game. But I have Suns in 5. A healthy Devin Booker and a healthy Kevin Durant. Both of those guys making shots and healthy, you can't really beat that if you're a Clippers team without Paul George. I think the Clippers have a stronger bench. I do. But don't get it twisted. I mean, Kevin Durant is Kevin Durant. But that's my first round matchup predictions. I'll get into it in the second round. I don't want to get into second round yet because I haven't figured out the play-in tournament yet. Like I told you guys my thoughts, but I don't know if that's going to be true. But I will tell you this. If the Lakers can get past the first round, they might make it to the Western Conference Finals. Maybe against the Golden State Warriors. I don't know. Is that even possible? Probably not. But anyways, I know Lakers fans just want to hear that their team will win. And I do trust them. Like, we forget that LeBron is LeBron. And we always think about how, the Lakers haven't made the playoffs in a year. And the last time they were in the playoffs, they sucked. Like, don't get it twisted. This is LeBron James, and he will will his team to crazy heights. But you know who I have winning it all? And I'm biased. The Warriors. I know. Go ahead and click off this video or episode, whatever you're listening to. But let's go Warriors. Dub Nation. Represent in Sacramento, please. We need home court advantage in Sacramento, in the Golden One Center. Do it. Do it, please. Anyways, that's my complete breakdown of the first round. Again, I'll be bringing you guys the second round as well. But please stick around. Like this video on YouTube. If you're on podcasts, go ahead and follow me. And I'm going to be doing more of this. I've been away. If you see that I haven't made a video or episode for a long time, I did have a daughter early March. And I have yet to recover with a crazy work schedule that I have. I've yet to recover. But with the playoffs, I got to bring you some content. I have to. Anyways, guys, I appreciate your listen. And Dub Nation, it's Warriors Invitational. Warriors Invitational until further notice.